Hi, Charles and Susie here. We've got a trip coming up in a couple of weeks to Colorado, and so I thought it'd be a good time to talk about a year and a half later what all I did up here with the base of a Flatline Van Company roof rack, and Susie's busy doing some new tweaks for our trip. Thanks for watching. So if you have not seen my install videos, I'll put below a link to some of the videos where I installed the ladder and the roof rack, and it's kind of spread out over several videos, but I'll post those below. But we love this roof rack. It's just great, and they make them for Transits and Sprinters and ProMasters, and they're even adding some new products. I think they're adding some running boards and a nudge bar on the front, so they are not just sitting on their laurels. They are coming out with new products, and they really do a great job, great product. So it wasn't hard to install, and I'll mention a few things up there when we get back up there. One thing I do know they've changed is the ladder. Mine has a flat surface on the steps. We never slip. It's not a problem, but they've added, I'll try to find a picture and I'll post it here. They're like some kind of rough surface and holes that your shoe can grab on a little bit better, so just to make sure you don't slip if it happens to be wet. But other than that, I don't think there's any big difference. I think they do now sell when you buy the roof rack, the fairing is included. That was separate earlier, but now I think they just decided just to make a package deal with that. So other than that, let's get up there, and I'll just point out a few things about the rack and some additions that we've made. If you get one, you'll really like it. So here's the step. They're powder coated, of course, and it's not a slippy surface at all. But like I said, they've upgraded the way the step works. And one thing I really like about the ladder is people always wonder, oh, is it going to stick out? The mirror sticks out farther than the ladder. So if your mirror's not hitting anything, your ladder will be fine. But you still have enough room to get your feet in. I've seen some where it really is close to the body of a van, and you can barely get your toes on the ladder, on the steps. But this one works really well. Let's get up there on the top. So here we are up on the roof. Storage box in the back. Got my lights and my camera. Well, let's talk about the front first. And the first crossbar up there, I have the fairing, and then I've got my really bright and big LED bar light that I almost never turn on, but it's mounted up there on the very first crossbar. And then I have my side view cameras on each corner, and there were holes there already. I may have drilled one hole, but that was it. And then I just used standard Home Depot deck boards, and they were treated, and I let them dry for months, and then I did waterproofing on them. I think I've done it twice now, and boy, it really beads up great. Then I originally had a flexible solar panel here, but it almost blew off because I didn't have it on right. And now I have a New Power 9BB 200 watt panel, and I bought this one, and I have more brackets than probably most people put on, but I have 4 on each side. And just like the boards, many of these, not all, but some of the brackets are actually drilled into the crossbars through the wood. So I've really got it anchored. And originally what I did with these, with the deck boards, I didn't do the whole roof at first. And so I was running bolts through and reaching underneath and putting a washer and a lock nut, and it was a pain, but I did it. Then when I decided to add the rest up here, then I went with self-drilling screws, and it was so much easier. So that's how I would suggest doing it. But some people worry about the weight, and I think I added up what the weight was, but now they've dried out, so they're even lighter. It just does not add that much weight. I had people worried about changing the center of gravity, and I was going to flip the van over, and none of that's happened. So we've got the one 800 watt panel, and then I worked around with the max air fan that was already installed. I'm going to take these recovery boards off because I want both sides empty because we are going to add a second new power 200 watt 9BB panel here. It'll fit right in here, and I'll still have some space along there, and I'm actually going to move the storage box back. I can change the straps and move it back and give it a little more room, and so we'll be able to step over, and we'll be able to use these spaces, and we're just not up here all that much, but we'll still be able to get, and you can stand on this box or sit on it, so we'll be fine. And it'll be nice having double the solar power. So this is I had leftover crossbars, so I cut them and screwed them in and made a rectangle. And originally there was a bag up here, but that just didn't work out well, so I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought this kind of expensive Rome Adventure 83 liter storage box, and it's military grade, waterproof, dustproof, and I'll pop it open here in a second. But I made a frame, and then that allowed me to strap it on, because they've got perfect places where you can run straps through, and I even ran a few self-drilling screws through it, and I waterproofed them with silicone inside, and then I used some others. You can see right there I've got two little pieces, and they actually slide out. I unloosened the button head screws, bolts, goes out, and we can put the our moonshade back there. So that's what's happening there. And let me get this box open. So here's the Rome Adventure Company 83 liter box. They make one that's bigger, but it's just too tall for me. I just didn't want it to give me too much air interference, though I don't hear sound up here from the roof rack, the boards, anything, the solar panel. So it's got all kinds of storage in here, and I keep in here actually the Ford supplied jack that is stored underneath the front seat. But I brought it up here. I've got toe straps and an air compressor, an extra small little propane tank that we use with a backpacking stove. I've got the poles for the moonshade, which is right there, some tools, and this has a really neat lid organizer that screws into the lid, and it's all kinds of pockets, and they're not even full, but I've got what few tools I bring along with us, and it just holds a lot of stuff, and it freed up one of our boxes down below, so really, really handy to have this. Well, there's just a little update. I did want to mention I bring T-handle Allen wrenches with me because I double check the connections, especially up there. And months and months ago, I went up and was just checking them where the rails bolt in, and some were loose, not terribly loose. And one thing I forgot when I did the install, I did not put the thread lock on it. And I know there's different strengths. There's a red and a blue. I think I came back and put the blue. The red, I think, is the one that you have to really work to break it free. But I went and took all of those out on both sides where the rails are connected with two of the button head bolts, and did the blue thread lock just to make sure. So they shouldn't move anymore. But I'll check them now and then. But other than that, I'm really happy with the install and how sleek it is and how well it works. And now that we're doubling our solar power, that's going to help a lot as well. So there's just a little update, nothing drastically new. We'll be excited to get that other panel up there in mid-September. We don't depend totally on the solar because I have a DC to DC charger in here, and then my EcoFlow Delta 1300, two of those, and a Delta Max 2100 watt hours. They charge so fast on shore power that we don't have problems with running out of power in here. So anyway, there you go, a little update, and thanks for watching.